Hari Om. It's great to again be here with you, you Manatv International yogis, you gang of yogis, practicing regularly. Once again, we hope you're going to enjoy what we're sharing today and we'll take advantage of it. We're going to be doing shoulder stand, Sarvangasana, the all members pose, and some variations with shoulder stand. And we're also going to be doing Sirsasana, the headstand. And these are really wonderful postures. We're going to show you variations with Sirsasana as well. But we're just going through these two postures in the whole session. But there are a lot of variations. And to Parvati's delight, she gets to spend a long time in these inversions, which is when you're doing inversion and you get comfortable in it, it's what you like. Couldn't be sweeter than to spend time hanging out in these postures. Okay, so please again, only do what fits you, what works for you. Don't stay as long as you're going to see Parvati in the postures. Just go for a little bit until you're comfortable, and as long as you're comfortable, and then come out. We'll give you some tips as we go through this. But we're going to have fun today. So please, legs together, arms in close to the body, palms down, swing the legs up and overhead, support the back. Okay. So we're going to do what's known as Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. It means the bridge pose from shoulder stand. So to do this, you turn your hands and put the thumb on the back and the fingers on the waist, and then you bend one knee toward the head and the other knee you bend, but you bring the foot back behind you and let it come down to the floor, and the knee overhead brings the foot down to the floor too. And then you reach your arms underneath, and you can either interlock the hands or grab the ankles, and you're in the bridge pose from the shoulder stand. Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. And to come back out of this, you put your hands on the buttocks, come up to your toes, and just kick up as you push with your hands, and then put the hands on the back. It's actually quite easy. This is not a challenging posture, it's just scary for people to try the first time, but it's not difficult actually. Now we're going to do the same thing, but then move into a different inversion, something we demonstrated as a backward bending pose, but we'll do it as an inversion. So once again, Parvati, please, hands on the waist and lower down into bridge pose from shoulder stand, please. And then put the hands next to the head, be sure to clear the hair so it doesn't get pulled. And we're going to press up into the wheel pose, Chakrasana. So you can see again that this is an inversion. The head is lower than the heart, and it's a wonderful inversion. And once you're comfortable in it, you may decide you like to hang out in this. It's an awesome inversion. We're not going to spend too long today in it. So to come out of this, again, tuck the chin and put the shoulders back on the floor, bend the arms. Once again, put the hands up on the buttocks and kick back up into your shoulder stand. And we're going to come out of shoulder stand in a different way as well. Can you put the legs into Padmasana? So Padmasana is the lotus posture. And this is a nice variation in the shoulder stand. You can straighten the legs up and come up nice and straight and open the pelvis. But you can also bring the knees down toward the head and round the back. It's really sweet. Now put your hands back on the ground. We're going to come out and roll down the spine one vertebra at a time, please. Keep the head back. And we're going to move right into Matsuyasana. You might pull the feet in a little closer. And then grab the thighs and sit up, put the knees down, arch back, put the head down. So Matsuyasana, fish pose, and then you grab the feet and pull the elbows toward the ground. You find this spreads the chest so beautifully, wonderful arch. This is actually Matsuyasana. This is the fish pose, what you see right now. With the legs out straight, that's a variation that's developed because not everyone's comfortable in lotus. But this is the fish pose with the legs in lotus. Breathe extra deeply. Now, when you come out of this, you let the legs go. Extend the legs out, wiggle loose a little, and then grab hold and come out the same way we did before. Lift the head, round the lower back first, and then lower the head down and wiggle loose. Beautiful. Nice. So this was shoulder stand series. There's a lot you can do in shoulder stand. It's really a lovely, lovely, lovely posture and so good for us. The queen of all the postures. But now we're going to work with the king of all the postures, and that's Sarvangasana, the headstand. And headstand is known as the king of the postures, I believe, because when you're comfortable in headstand, you can do your entire practice, the whole thing, while you're in your headstand. You can do twisting and backward bending and forward bending and balancing, move. You can do everything while you're in your headstand. So to come into headstand, you need to, there's a couple approaches. The traditional approach is using an equilateral triangle with your fingers interlaced, and make sure, can you show that the bottom, just lift your hands a little and let people see. You take the bottom little finger inside so you don't put pressure on it, and then you can put pressure on your hands without hurting that finger. Then you put your head into the hands, and and usually people center the head down on the floor, but you then need to tuck the forehead toward the floor a little more, and so you move the center of the head, you move a little bit toward the front of the head, toward the forehead. Not a lot, but a little bit. Creates an arch in the neck, which will serve you and is important to be comfortable in your headstand. And then don't let your elbows move out. You need the equilateral triangle to keep your balance. And then you straighten the legs and walk the feet in toward the chest. It becomes uncomfortable for a moment for the neck as the butt comes over the head. Bring one knee right in tight to the chest, foot toward the buttocks, and then the other knee toward the chest. And then instead of bringing the feet up, bring the knees up. Instead of the feet, keep the knees bent, please. And bring the knees up. Thank you. And open the pelvis, open the hips. And when you get up here, then you get aligned and straighten the legs. And when you're aligned, it's sort of amazing. You can do anything you want. You can shake your legs. You're really steady. You're very, very grounded in the posture. You move around. You're really steady. If your neck is positioned properly, if you made that little adjustment before you went up, if you're feeling pressure on the neck, you need to come down and readjust. Get that arch just right. But when you come up and the arch is right, you don't feel pressure on the neck. You feel as light as a feather. Again, you want to breathe like you do when you're going to sleep. And you just hang out, letting the posture do its thing. Now, there are a lot of variations. We mentioned you can do an entire practice here. You can do the things that we did in the shoulder stand, but here they work even more effectively. So bring the soles of the feet together, knees out to the sides. And you could turn the heels forward and the toes back from this position, or reverse that, the heels back and the toes forward. And then center again, and push the heels up, let the feet come apart, and bring the legs out to the sides. Don't let them come toward the head, they go straight out to the sides. And you can point, stretching the ankles, or you can flex, stretching the backs of the legs. And you have gravity helping you to open up here. It's really wonderful. You can bob a little. Now, there's a lot of things you can do from this. One is you can bend one leg and bring the foot in toward, and then you push against the opposite elbow and stretch out. Push the knee and stretch the leg. Don't forget to breathe. And then straighten that leg and bend the other one. Push through the opposite elbow from the bent leg and stretch out. Push the knee and the extended leg away from one another. And then you can bring the leg out. And go ahead, bring the legs up together, please. Just wiggle loose and take a few breaths. Let the body relax. Let everything soften, the shoulders. Because you were working some muscles which aren't needed when you're just hanging out in the posture. But when you do these variations, you start using muscles to work with it. And when you're hanging out in it, the muscles are very soft. You really are floating, light as a feather. So there's a nice thing you can do to release the energy, if there's any tightness that develops while you're moving. You could bring the right knee in toward the chest and take a deep breath. And then exhale through the mouth, releasing as you push the heel up. And then do it with the other side. And push up. Very good. And you might like to do the splits, front to back. We've already done them side to side. And some people like to twist into the other one, but that's okay. Do it like this. So you get to twist the body beautifully in your headstand as well. There's a number of twists you can incorporate. You see the spine twisting so beautifully. So come on up again with the legs, please. Thanks, Parvati. And normally we would come out just bending the knees in and lower the feet down, but there's another way which, if your core is strong, you can just push the buttocks over the head and bring the legs down, keeping them straight. And then you bring the feet down. Place the hands next to the head. Press, watch your hair. And press up and come up to standing, please. And then you can walk forward and again sweep the arms to the sides as you come up and inhale. Wiggle the neck loose and then palms together in front of the chest and soften, be centered. Wow. We do hope that you had fun and that you'll practice these in the way that fits you most beautifully. Take advantage of these inversions. It's really valuable for us to spend time inverted. But remember, doing yoga is not a headstand, it's not inversion, it's learning to stand on your feet and live as a really upright, wonderful, compassionate being. That's what the fruits of your yoga are. But you can have fun with your inversions. Asatoma sadgamaya tamasoma jyotirgamaya mrityorma mritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Lead us from unreal to real. Lead us from darkness to the light. Lead us from the fear of death to knowledge of immortality. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Bless all dimensions of being with peace and joy, love and light. Victory to that light of truth which overcomes all darkness.
Victory to that light.
Jai Shri Sadguru Maharaj Ki.
Jai.
Please bow to the light in yourself.